It is time now for Kara's Cures, and pregnancy is such an exciting time, but it certainly can be challenging both physically and emotionally. Bailey Gladdis is the author of Asking for a Pregnant Friend, and she tells us why being open about pregnancy and the birthing process is really important for women. Welcome, Bailey.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So the book is here, Asking for a Pregnant Friend, 101 Answers to Questions Women Are Too Embarrassed to Ask About Pregnancy. So I guess this is the one, if you're even too shy to ask your best friend, you get this book.
Yes, exactly. It's your new best friend.
And what do you think is so important? What do you think one of the most, let me ask you, one of the most important questions that women ask that they're maybe afraid to ask?
Yeah, so, a lot of what I discuss in the book is about the emotions. So, a lot of women feeling completely overwhelmed by having a baby. Some women are bored by having a baby. It's questions that we don't want to admit that we're having because it makes us feel like, oh, maybe that means I'm a bad mother. And then a lot of questions about sex and arousal during pregnancy, more than you would expect. So I dive into all of it.
So why is it important to really talk about this? I think for a long time, maybe we're getting better, but in previous generations, nobody talked. It was just like, you're going to figure that out, and then you'll be in a special club and you'll know.
Yes. Yeah, it's so important because when we don't talk about these questions, especially the ones that we feel like are embarrassing or maybe taboo, it creates a lot of shame. And so when we hold that in, that shame grows and we get distracted. We get distracted from the beautiful moments of pregnancy, of motherhood. So when we're open about, what we're curious about, we can move forward, we can grow.
So I'm going to just read some of the questions, and some of them are very deep, so you'll save those for your reading. But just about this one, am I awful for feeling sad? My baby is not the sex I'd hoped for. Do you get that question a lot, and what's your answer?
I do. I get it all the time. I had that experience when I found out the little girl I was supposed to be having was a boy. And so I just let women know, first of all, let yourself grieve. We feel so much guilt for not just immediately being happy that we're having a healthy baby, but give yourself a day or two to grieve, to be upset that you're not having the sex that you thought you were going to have. But then realize that beyond that, look, we don't even know what the baby's gender is going to be. You don't know who this little unique person is. And to overall just remember that the child that is meant to come to you is coming to you, regardless of whether they're a boy or a girl.
And especially during the pandemic, you've been getting questions about, I feel like I can't take my baby out of the house until the baby's vaccinated. Am I being paranoid? What do you say to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, parents need to feel comfortable leaving the house, so the first thing I say is ask your pediatrician for recommendations. But then one of the big things is go outside. Being outside is a really safe space. You can meet friends and family in a park, in your backyard. Going indoors can create a lot more anxiety for moms. So, have that happy middle ground of, yeah, connecting outside.
So you talk about 5 different ways to have a more empowered journey into motherhood. In the limited time we have, what would you say one of the most important things is that you'd like women who are listening to understand?
Yeah. So one of the big things is get curious, about the questions coming up, because when we get curious, that moves us out of shame and into that space of growth. We're learning, we're exploring. So yeah, get curious instead of holding it in and feeling all that shame.
We have so much judgment against mothers. They're not doing enough, or they're doing too much, or it's just the way. You talk about it? Do things that you actually like to do with your baby. Don't worry if that's not what society typifies as the most perfect mom.
Yeah, exactly. So, my husband and I, we really love live music. And when our son was born, we thought, well, I mean, I know a lot of people might judge us for this, but we got him those little baby headphones and we still went to concerts and he was totally fine. So that helped me realize that you can still be you. You can still connect to what makes you happy and incorporate your baby into that. And now my son loves music and he loves joining us on, those outings. So yeah, be brave in your choices, because it's your life, and yeah, it'll just enrich your baby's life.
And what about, do you get questions from dads in here as well? Are you sneaking any in there, or is this mostly for the women?
I would say it's mostly for the women, but men can definitely get a lot out of it. It's this really intimate insight into what their partner is going through during pregnancy. And so I think it really could help men have some more empathy for what we're going through and learn some tricks for being a more loving and supportive partner, for sure.
Yes, you reveal everything.
Yes,
So again,
everything.
thank you so much, Bailey. And your book is called Asking for a Pregnant Friend. You can find more information at baileygladdis.com, but this book is available wherever you get your books right now. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, it's a day trip you do not want to miss. We're giving you a sneak peek of a garden tour showcasing some of the nicest gardens east of the Connecticut River. And if you're trying to avoid the heat this weekend, head to the movie theater or your couch. We're going to preview some movies coming out this weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back.